What's up, guys? Welcome back to Manhattan Beach Studios. This is Grit. I'm Victoria Dennis alongside Meg Burgdorf, and joining us today are Team Canada Olympians Melissa Humana-Paredes and Brandie Wilkerson. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, on this beautiful rainy afternoon
love
in
it.
Southern California.
Classic rainy LA.
Got my rain boots on.
Yep, you knew. Neighbors to the north, you knew what to expect.
Prepared.
Yep. Well, welcome. We're going to dive in right off the bat. So for people who don't know, your history runs back to university.
Yeah.
You played at York University together, and you were rookies. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we go way back.
Yeah.
We were in the same rookie year together. Met first day of orientation in the gym, and it was a wild ride. Like, I think we had such different experiences going into university and playing together on the team, and then just like created some beautiful memories throughout the 4 years we were there. And 10 years later, here we are.
I know.
Teammates again.
I feel like even then when I finally started playing beach, and obviously you've been playing for so long, and we were kind of the only ones playing beach and indoor at the same time, and this was like in the latter half of our university career. People were like asking me, at least me, not you, are you and Mel gonna play? Like, cause like you're right there. Like, are you not? And I'm like, are you kidding? I just started like today, and Mel is like a pro already. Like, there's no chance we're playing together. But I'm like, one day I'll be good enough.
No, I agree. The questions were popping up even back then when we were gonna get together, and for sure in the back of my mind, I mean, Brandie was an all-star. She, like, seeing her kind of evolve and take on the sport so quickly, and seeing how dominant she was from really like not much volleyball background to then being like an all-star for the university in the game across Canada. It was just really impressive. I was like, okay, I could see her coming to the beach.
Yeah. But it's cool because everyone must have seen the chemistry that was already happening, you know?
Yeah, we were lucky to share the rookie experience with like 8 other rookies.
Wow.
So we just had a mob of rookies. Like, I think there were more than the vets. So we all just like meshed together and just had so many memories together. And so even if Mel and I didn't spend every waking moment, it was like one of our friends were crisscrossing. We'd always be hanging out, talking, and like kind of looking out for each other. So that's cool to have those memories. And I'm sure if like our friends are seeing this, they'd be like, yeah, we were there.
It was our idea.
You're like, in those double days, I knew.
They should have put their money down then.
Well, how fun. You were saying 10 years later out of university, and it's a full circle moment, not just for you, but also for Team Canada, embedding those roots in the sport. You both had separate paths that brought you here today. You come from a bloodline of volleyball. Your dad coached and won a bronze medal in the Olympics. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I mean, my dad played indoor volleyball for Chile way back when. And then when he came and immigrated to Canada, he started coaching beach volleyball, and he never played or like coached it before, didn't know what it was really. And it happened very quickly for him, meeting, the guys that Marquise and John Child that wanted him to be their coach, to then qualifying for the Olympics, then going to the Olympics, and then getting Canada's first and only Olympic medal. It was quite an experience, and it was in 1996. It was in Atlanta, and I was just three and a half years old at the time. So I was quite young, but I remember, I vividly remember his journey there and what the Olympic dream and the magic of that really entailed. You can kind of see the commitment, the desire, the passion that it takes to embark on that journey, even at a young age. I mean, one of my favorite memories of him is he had to travel on tour all the time, right? So he was gone a lot, but he gave my brother and I this map and put in little push pins of all the countries he would go to, so that we could follow him, and we'd attach a string to every country and city that they would play in the road to the Olympics. So I remember just following him along and being like, wow, he's over here on this part of the world. And it was wild. And then, when they came back and they had hardware with them, was really cool to see him kind of on TV. And it kind of really like enlightened and lit a fire in me to kind of pursue this and be like, wow, this is such a wondrous journey. But also, it also kind of like allowed me to ask questions and normalize the conversation of what it means to be an Olympian and of the Olympic Games, and have such an incredible resource like my dad and, Marquise and John Child at such a young age. I feel so lucky and blessed to have that in my life.
In your DNA.
Well, yeah.
I think the road to whatever was so imprinted
Mm-hmm.
for your early experiences. That's incredible.
I know. I
It's
feel
really
it's really special. Yeah. And I mean, I think I owe so much to him and my family in general, not just him, but all my parents and stuff. So, yeah, I wouldn't be here without them.
And you played your first time in Chile this past
I
year, right?
did,
How was that
yeah.
experience?
Super emotional. It
Yeah.
was so
Oh my God, that's so
weird.
true, yeah.
It was, I mean, I think going into the games, I didn't really know what to expect, but then we're like, let's go have fun.
Yeah,
Like, let's go experience
We're
it
doing
all.
yeah.
Yeah, let's go to the opening ceremonies. Let's do this. Let's explore the city and
Yeah.
stuff. And then we got there and I was just like hit with this like wave of emotions of like, oh my God, my family that I haven't seen in so long is going to see me play for the first time live. And, you know, there's like a lot of history there that I was getting to learn about my family too and experience. And I'm so grateful that I got Brandie next to me to do it because I was like on an emotional roller coaster.
I remember you
Not
looked over
prepared.
at me. Well, the beds were this close, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you're right there. And she's like, I did not expect to be this emotional. I was like, oh, okay, well, we're having fun. No, you're a rock star.
No, it
Like,
was-
she was actually a rock star because
know.
everyone wanted a picture with you, everyone wanted to talk to you, everyone wanted to touch you. And I was like, yes.
And I had to speak Spanish in
Yes.
all of the
But
interviews.
you're crushing that.
I am
You
not
were
fluent
crushing
in it, but I
Yeah.
did my best. Did my best.
It was a lot.
awesome.
It was a lot,
Yeah.
It was fun though.
Very cool. Well,
Yeah.
talking about another continent,
Mm-hmm.
Europe, Switzerland.
I know.
What's your background there?
So
how did you get
going
to
on?
Canada?
Yeah. What is happening? Yes. Okay. So my dad's American. My family's in Texas, and my mom's Swiss, and I was born in Switzerland and raised there until I was about 7. We moved around a lot, lived in the U.S. for a bit too, and then immigrated to Canada because it was just an opportunity for a biracial family to settle somewhere that was very diverse and accepting of that, especially in that time. Both my parents had very interesting experiences, I guess, on different places that weren't so positive. So Canada was really like literally where we went for like shelter and safety and just like goodness. And I'm extremely grateful for it. I think Canadian culture is so beautiful. So yeah, and then kind of grew up there. So that's Toronto is home. But my family is still in Switzerland or in Texas, so I feel very like loyal to all of those countries, and the passports help when I need to pull them out, and all of those things. So it's been fun to experience all those cultures, and then with the Olympic Games coming up in Paris, which is so close to where all my family is, it's kind of the only opportunity that I have my Swiss family to see me in this light. And then we have tournaments in Switzerland every year, which it's been pretty wild because I hadn't seen my family in years and years and years, and it wasn't I mean, if it wasn't for beach volleyball, I don't know when the next time I would have been able to afford to go see them. So beach volleyball opened up that connection with so many parts of my family and my culture and all of those things, like you said, in ways that I didn't expect, which is really cool. Yeah.
And it's unique now. As we said, it's a full circle moment. And now you're able to have that background, that foundation together. And a short amount of time after your partnership, you took gold on your home turf in Montreal.
Yeah, that was insane. That was probably one of my favorite memories.
Absolutely.
So special for so many different reasons. One, it's been a long time since Canada's hosted something on home soil. 2, I think it was the first time like a lot of our family was there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They got to see us all play live. I think for the first time, like I know your siblings and mom, my nieces and nephew and siblings, and it was kind of like a coming together of so many people. Also like that our families meeting, like some of our family members meeting for the first time. It was like a wedding.
It really is.
My mom's like, Connor's starting to call me mom at this point.
Yeah, there was
By the end of the
bonding.
week.
So much bonding happening. Yeah, I mean, the tournament itself was a riot. It was just like an absolute roller coaster as well of just like
Not even playing that great.
just pure
figuring
grit.
it out.
Just pure grit and heart and just fighting for every point, and then playing in an iconic place like that in front of a full stadium like that was so into it. So many people had never seen beach volleyball before, and I think so many people were now converted beach volleyball fans. And that was so special to see. And just to see them kind of learning the game for the first time, but being so present and like cheering for not just us, but like for showing everybody some love. Unless you were playing against us.
Sorry about it.
Yeah.
Even the side courts were full, and I think people just wanted to be a part of like a good, high energy, world class. Like everyone understood what was happening and was happy to be there.
Yeah. And I think playing on home soil it adds a little bit of pressure for the home team to do well, right? And everybody wants to do well. Volleyball Canada wants you to do, the promoters, your family, us, our team. That was like one of our highlights of the season we wanted to peak for. And I think we did. And again, it wasn't like the best volleyball we've ever played, but I don't think it needed to be. I think we just played with a lot of heart, and we like fed off the energy of each other and of the crowd and of our family and friends there. And it was like when that ball dropped, Brandie got the block on game point in the gold medal match, and I just did circles. I was just running around. I couldn't contain myself. It was so memorable.
Now shifting back to the Olympics here, the furthest any beach volleyball team representing Team Canada has made it in the Olympics, I don't have to tell you twice, was a fifth. You did it separately. Last Olympic Games in 2020, Tokyo Olympics. Now you're united as a team. Let's talk about that journey heading into the Olympics. No Canadian team has made it past quarterfinals, which is what you did separately.
Yeah.
I remember. We played back to back.
Yeah. That was great.
That was rough. Yeah.
The whole thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's going to be great. No, it's going to be awesome, for sure. I mean, you take all the pieces. It truly feels like all the things you want to say, like be present and learn from your mistakes and like all these sayings, but it actually feels like that's what's happening in real time, in real life, where it's like we are both at a place separately in our womanhood, in our athlete journeys, and being volleyball players, ambassadors, whatever you want to call it, and learning so much from that past experience, and just being so like, okay, thank you for that. It set me up to be here, to be fully prepared for us to do much better and really hit that potential that we had always seen for ourselves, and finally quench that little like, oh, you wanted more than fifth, I wanted more than fifth, that's for sure. So it's still there, and it just feels even more realistic.
I'm curious to know some of those learnings from the last Olympics. So you were even talking about peaking for the event in Canada, to prepare for that. What are some of those big takeaways? I mean, really tapping into the Olympians' mindset of the experiences you learn that you're really going to apply to this journey and heading into it, either as a team, a new team, or individually.
Yeah, I think one of the things that really resonates with the Olympic journey, and I think for a lot of athletes, is like so much of your identity is tied with that, and so many years are put into that moment, and I think that can be so burdensome and really heavy, like a very heavy weight to carry for any athlete. And I think there's just kind of this narrative around, it's so cliche, but around every moment leading up to that's just as special, that makes when we go there even more special. But like after Tokyo, I think there was a big loss for me in, looking back at that memory and not feeling like I did myself proud, my team proud, and my country proud. And I feel like this time around, I want to enter in a little bit lighter with a little bit more joy and just a little bit more freedom heading into Paris with still just as much fire and intensity, because we know what our goals are and we know what we're capable of. But whatever happens there doesn't change how I feel about you, how I feel about myself, what we've worked for the last few years. It doesn't change anything that we've done previously. I think when we go there, I feel like we're going to feel a lot of sense of peace because we've done the work every day for a year and a half prior to, since we've got together, since we got with our new team and our new coaching staff, like that work has been done day in and day out. And when we get to the games, it'll be like, okay, now it's coming together and we're here to do what we've been doing for the last year and a half. And so that's something that I'm really trying to embody. And I think our team's doing a really great job of keeping us on task there and approaching each day the way we want to be approaching it.
Full body chills. Seriously, like twice, by the way, when you were giving that answer, I was like, oh my God. But it's so so true. Like you can feel the passion and the heart and let's get like volley nerdy now and talk a little bit about the game itself and the skill set. Looking back at like the last Olympic block, what has been the biggest difference either offensively or defensively that you've had to adjust in the game?
Jeez.
Well, and also to note, you'll have fans this time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's a big change, a big difference.
But just the sport of volleyball, playing on the world tour, AVP, what has been the biggest shift? We see a lot of on-two action. Meg will touch on that in a sec, but biggest difference that you've seen growth in the game?
Like the women are gnarly out there right now. Like everyone is so strong, so fast, so dynamic, and that's just the direction it's hitting. Where you're just like whatever you show up with, whether it's like height or good reading skills or whatever, you have to like now add 17 more skills on top of that because everyone's doing it, and then everyone's trying to find new ways to diversify the game, and definitely the speed of the game I think is the most common thread with every skill, whether it's more women are hand setting, running wider and faster offenses. The blocker and defenders are both really tall now, and they all can move very well laterally and all of these things. And then the serving, people are just bombing serves. Like,
it is crazy out there.
Like just a free for all. So it's like, okay, we just don't care anymore. We're just going for it. So that's what we're doing. So you got to come in with like, you got to know yourself a little bit because it's a big game out there now. Like younger athletes are going to come in and hit that ball like you're not standing right in front of them. So it's like it's before there was like maybe a level of respect or we're just like, okay, you're appealing team and we're an offense team. We've got a tall blocker, small defender. We all know our parts. Like cool. Now it's like, now there's no rules.
Yeah.
Everyone can do everything.
It's wild. I think the game and the usage of every inch of the court is why it's crazy. People are nailing spots along the line, every square centimeter of they can just
it is a not miss hit, by the way.
No, I'm going for the outside of the line.
Okay, so we were aiming. Okay.
Yes. No, the precision is intense, and the game along the net is crazy. Like even just seeing as a defender, it's easy for me to see, but I'm seeing Brandie do sprints at the net. The ball is moving.
Just trying to get a block.
Definitely think you sprint more in a game.
Let's talk about it. Come on, we don't get enough love. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's crazy though. No, it's super dynamic. It's so fun out there. It's very athletic. It's a super athletic game, especially on the women's side. And I think while it is growing, I do want to say that there still is room for smaller sized athletes. I think we're probably one of the smallest teams collectively on tour. And yes,
you're listed at 5'11", by the way.
She is.
Are you a true 5'11"?
What? Stand up.
I know.
We'll take pictures.
We'll take pictures.
Yeah.
I know, because when we were commentating, I think I texted her, I'm like, is she really 5'11"? I think she's a lot taller.
Like this all the time. I've had so many fans, like, as we're getting closer, they're like, whoa, you're way smaller than I thought. And I'm like, Mom.
She has super long arms and obviously jumps like crazy. We all know that.
Yes.
But like, yes, we are small, and there's still, and what I love about that is that there's still room for us. I don't want young athletes to think that there's no room for someone who's not over 6 feet in the game of beach volleyball or the game of volleyball in general. So there's still lots of room for
arguments for it, more.
Totally.
So you can go anyway with it. But
you guys have definitely picked up Defender of the Year multiple times, Blocker of the Year. What is that like, and applying that to the on-two game? So that's really changing, evolving. A lot of the collegiate athletes in the United States and pro people are trying to figure out how to defend, what to sacrifice, what to give. What are your, from the defender perspective and blocker's perspective, what are you guys working on right now?
It's a great question. Yeah, it's very prevalent in terms of an offense. There are definitely certain teams that that's just part of the game plan. It's just the stats that we're picking up, the video that we're watching, we're setting up for how to defend that. And so there's lots of conversations every time. I think a large part of that, frankly, is dictated by the serve. I think one of the beautiful things about the on-two game is that the team must have great ball control. Ball control on the women's side is like beyond, right? It has to be able to run the offense you want to run, to be able to run two balls. And so if you can put pressure on serves and start moving them around with the serves to kind of neutralize the two ball, then that's when things start to get a little bit easier for us. So we start, that's kind of our first form of defense there is at the baseline. And then we have different strategies against different people depending on what their tendencies are like. And so, I think it all depends on who we're playing. We'll tell you our secrets off camera. But it's a really challenging part of the game. You have to be aware. Like if you're seeing us, we're like hopping around back there, being like, hey, are we taking this? Are we taking this away? And it's like quick movement. It's quick feet. You have to be ready for anything and then set up your defensive appropriately. But as a defender, there's just a lot of reading. There's a lot of, Brandie, I'm seeing this. Brandie, watch this. Brandie's like, what are you talking about back there? Stop. No, but it's fun. It's definitely fun. It keeps you on your toes.
You go ahead. You go for it. Go for it.
I was going to say, do you think that even swing blocking would come in on the women's game?
I don't know. Someone has mentioned that before, and I can't speak on that. I've never swung block, and I don't plan on it.
I'm gonna do it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But there are other things I want to work on with my block. But I mean, I would try it. Definitely, I'm open to it. I mean, that's the whole point of beach volleyball, is to like really carve your own way, at least to my perspective, carve your own way to play it. And if someone can swing block and that's the most effective, then beautiful. But yeah, I think Mel hit so many important points about defending two balls. And I also just, from a blocker's perspective, just the presence of a body in front of a potential two-baller, I think I underestimated sometimes. Just being in their space, not even really jumping, and then going and finishing the rest of the rally is also really valid. So there's a level of being dynamic and being able to move laterally and to help with the reading and things like that. So, you just have to build the skills and the strength. It just works so hard. It's just, you have to work hard. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and the deep sand in Hermosa is helping a lot, I'm sure.
Yes. Love being here.
Lovely.
It makes going anywhere else easier.
Well, we know it's a road dog lifestyle, traveling everywhere, racking up those miles. So when you eventually get to where you're going every weekend or every other weekend, what makes your team so unique? What makes it unique when you step on the sand together in every city?
Wow. I don't know. I almost want to ask you what you like about watching us, but what do we? I don't know. I feel like there's like a genuine like admiration and love and respect for each other and also for the game. And then for this lifestyle, I think it's really hard. I don't think everybody can do this lifestyle. I think it looks way more glamorous than it really is. And so I think because we appreciate so wholeheartedly when we show up to where we're going, I think there's so much gratitude in that. It's like, okay, how lucky are we that we get to be here and chase the sun and represent such a wonderful nation and do this together and, challenge ourselves daily. And so I hope you can see that when you watch us, that there's like a lot of joy and enthusiasm and passion for just the challenge of doing what we do. And then also like the fire and intensity and passion behind wanting to be the grit. About wanting to be, the best in the world. And so I think that's what's so great about us, is that I think we really try and cherish the moments and enjoy the journey. And I think we really want to look back on this and be able to have really great memories and feel really proud. And I think Brandie especially, she like loves adventure and she's super curious. And so I think we make the most of every trip that we go on. We'll go find new restaurants and we'll go shopping. We'll go to concerts, we'll try and find moments to just like create forever, I guess.
Your team extends beyond the sport from different paths of life. It extends to multifaceted communities, cultures, opportunities in youth sports, immigrating to Canada and coming from that line. What does that mean to you to be able to represent multifaceted communities?
Yeah. For me, it's everything. It's definitely one of the pillars that inspire me to show up every day. And it feels like a responsibility on my part to represent successful Black communities and share stories and share the immigrant story and all of those things is something that is a beautiful part of why maybe someone likes watching me is to, if you like my game and you like my personality, well, this is a huge part of it. And so I want to welcome you into that story. And I think that's also why our team does great, is because we incorporate so much of our values and our humanness and the things that are important to us beyond the sport, and integrate it within our game, whether it's through the passion and the fire, or if it's just our learning skills or abilities to learn from each other because of our different stories and how we kind of got to the same place. So to continue to do that in ways to help the community, I've had so much help from sponsors to help me run events for the community. I got to start Project Worthy with people from the volleyball community as well, and then to continue it and just merge so many things that I didn't expect the sport to bring to me. And I'm just so grateful for that. And it's incredible to sometimes take a pause and see how many people have been affected by it, and then that just gives me even more life and more reason to keep being my authentic self, as different as I feel sometimes, just with the lack of representation. It feels like you're an outsider, but understanding that that's what it takes to be a change maker and to really create the legacy that we want for Canada, because that's what it did for my family. So this is what I want to do for this sport. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mel?
Oh my God, how can I? I thought we were done there. No, that was amazing. I mean, I don't know if I can add anything more to that. I think on the surface, this pursuit is selfish, right? I think there's a lot of people that do a lot of things for our dream. You know, we have this whole coaching staff behind us. We have family members and loved ones who sacrifice a lot so that we can do what we want to be able to do and accomplish our dreams and goals. And so I think there's a level of that really never sat right with me, and I think with us, where it was like, oh gosh, everyone's doing so much for us. How can we repay them? And so I feel like my journey for sure is definitely a big love note to my family and to my loved ones for giving me this opportunity. I had no control over their choices of immigrating and leaving for better pastures and, starting a new life somewhere and going through that trouble. They did that on their own, and they did that so that I could have a better life. And so I owe them so much, and I wouldn't be here without them. And I think of them so much because they've given me such a beautiful life. And I think it is, you talked about responsibility. I think it is really important for us to be able to be representation of what's possible, of opportunity, of different stories and different upbringings, and just really trying to find who you are and find your place in the world and just try and achieve your true potential. So I hope that we can be role models for that.
I also don't think I'd be playing without your dad.
Oh my God.
No, because he literally, so my mom used to work at the university as well. And this is before I even tried out. And my mom's like, yeah, she kind of plays volleyball.
I know this.
And then Hernan's like, but it's like, is she good? And she's like, I don't know, I'm probably not. But, and she's like, well, they're doing a tryout. Do you want to bring your daughter? You should bring her. And just trying to convince my mom to tell me about this varsity team I could be a part of.
Yeah.
And he made my mom drag me out. And then my mom's like, I don't know, but okay, here she is. And I'll bug her about it all the time because she was like, are you good? And then a year later, she's like,
she's like all-star #1. Yeah, Brandie was a walk-on for our team, just so that we're
But
aware.
I would not be there without Hernan.
Oh my
literally
God.
telling my mom everything and where I should go and what I should do.
Stop.
Yeah.
What a cool story.
Yeah.
Aw.
Wow, another thread in the
I
whole
know.
journey, tying it all
So
together.
yeah.
That's so special. Well, your mom, I read via Team Canada website. If you need a background, shout out.
Yeah.
Your mom is a beast. She runs Ironman,
yeah.
and then your dad played in the NBA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, let's just Super BA, whatever. But your mom runs Ironman.
What?
What?
Yeah, she's nuts. She's done 3 of them after having 4 kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, she's insane.
No, she's a beast.
Oh
She's
my
insane.
gosh.
So good role models, good inspiration. It's trickling down. And you guys have great social media messaging too. And I know a lot of the young girls really look up to you guys as did you see what she's posting? That really spoke to me. So I think even though you guys don't always get to see that feedback, I definitely have been privy to some of the reactions of the little girls that you're inspiring. Yeah, it's really special. So keep posting those things because you're giving them voice where they might not have it.
Yeah, and you co-founded Project Worthy. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that came out of a lot of the BLM talks, and just it felt like a time where everybody was ready to really take action on something that needed to be, talked about for so long. And there was an overwhelming, almost depression that was happening for me, where I felt like this was just so much bigger than anything I could fathom. And it's like, why are these kind of conversations and this like resistance and all of this hate like still so prevalent? Like, it just feels so big. And it wasn't until and I had originally co-founded it with Julie Gordon, who did play on the national team as well. And we just kind of sat down being like, okay, what can we do that like feels tangible to us to like play a part? And even if it's only for like 2 kids, like at least it's something. And it did really help to do that. And so the whole premise is really to have our nation, like for Canada, it's mostly in Canada right now, be represented by the cities and the people who live there. So just adding more BIPOC, which is Black, Indigenous, or people of color, people into the sport, and by alleviating the limitation of any financial burdens, which is typically the case. So they apply for the scholarship, we do an interview, and then we kind of pick someone to pay all of their club fees so that they can play, and just to meet some of these kids and hear some of these stories and the things that they do to just play volleyball is insane. And I relate to that entirely. I would not have had my start in my little 1-2 year club run without people literally buying shoes for me, taking me to practice, buying me knee pads. Like, I could not play the sport without that. And so there's so many more people that are still like that, and they have something to give to the sport, maybe even more than I could have at that time. So that's how it started, and now it's kind of grown into what we hope to be more of a mentorship program, to running more clinics. We've ran a couple in the US, ran a couple in Toronto, so really looking to expand that. Yeah.
And where can people find more information on this?
Yeah, so Project Worthy has an Instagram page, and if you just go to projectworthy.com, there's even merchandise you can buy that all the money goes straight to the scholarship, or you can just do a flat out donation if you want, or come join any of the clinics that we'll be hosting at least once a year. Yeah.
Very cool. And do you host those usually in Canada, or does the location vary?
The location varies. Last year I did one in Chicago just before the AVP. So that was really cool to kind of like blend everything together. The AVP even gave tickets to the girls that came they can watch beach volleyball, and Wilson helped power the whole thing. I had other sponsors make amazing goodie bags. So there's a lot of companies that are really interested in this same, goal. So that's exciting, and hopefully we'll move it around more and have one in LA.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Meg, any final thoughts from you?
I kind of want to know who your biggest rival is on tour. Oh. Could either be individually or kind of as a team.
Who are you thinking of?
Other than myself, I'm my biggest rival day to day.
Yeah, I get my own way.
Yeah, I get my own way if I really like to be a head case. But no, I think my rival is whoever is ranked #1 right now. And so that is Brazil. So Ana Patricia Duda, respect them entirely. They're amazing athletes, but they're in the way. Yeah, so...
Because you're 4th in the world right now, provisional Olympic 5th, so a few teams kind of ahead of you.
If I had to pick one, that would be one.
We have yet to beat them, but we're getting closer every time we play them. There are only 2 teams, I think, that we haven't beat. Them and the Dutchies.
Yeah.
Okay.
But definitely, Judah and Patricia.
Yeah.
I think they're the ones we have our eyes on.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be wheels up soon to Doha.
Yeah.
But before you go, I want to know my last question for you guys. Okay. Unless, do you have another one? Nope. Wrapping? Okay. So your birthday is Canada Day?
Yes.
That's crazy.
How insane is that?
That is crazy.
The first medal I ever won on the World Tour was on Canada Day. Like, first medal for Canada. We happened to be in Poland, which was also insane to celebrate in Poland. But yeah, so I don't know how that worked out.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of the day, bleeding Team Canada, that is your roots. That is like who you are, right? That wearing that flag and representing it for the great nation of Canada. What does that mean for you?
Oof. I think it's hard to define what it means to be Canadian or what Canada is, and I think that's why it makes it so special. I think because it's so encompassing of so many different things, because I think when you see Canada, you see so many different people. And I hope when you see us, you see us embody what Canada stands for, and more. I think we have more to our stories, and I feel like when we put on the jerseys, when we were there to represent Canada, we're representing so much, and we're there to speak for those who don't have as strong voices. And so I think we like to do that on the court with how we play and how we dance on the court together. And yeah, I think it's just, I think we know what it takes to get there, and we want to make a nation proud.
Yeah. It's the and more part for me, to be able to carry all of the stories, like you said, the kaleidoscope amount of diversity and beauty that Canada is, and hold that grit and modesty that's so inherent in the culture, but then to take it a step further and be changing the narrative of Canada and Canada in this sport, and to just be the best in the world at this, and to really expand what people think of Canada and be a part of that is amazing. That's world class, and that's pretty legendary.
World class. Absolutely. Yeah. Just like the miles in the airport.
Yes.
How do we still not have?
Yeah. We need to have 100K. How are we so close and so far?
Well, thank you guys so much.
Oh
my gosh,
for such
so
insightful
fun.
questions. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, you're welcome back anytime. Anytime. You know where to find us.
Lovely.
But until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure, you know what I'm going to say. Smash that subscribe button and make sure to like this video. And make sure to check out Project Worthy. Awesome stuff happening over there. Mel, Brandie, thank you so much.
Team Mandy. Gotta love it.
Heard it here. Hashtag Team Mandy. We'll see you guys next time.